Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with a thank you. Thank you to all my wonderful subscribers. We have cracked 2,000. I was waiting to make sure we got pretty good above 2,000 to announce that because sometimes you get over a threshold and then you go back down and whatever. But we shot across the recent coverage of this Dominion and Skytle. You could see here, Gateway Pundit, Skytle is real, Dominion servers, all giving me big hits, and Little Joan, right, Little Joan. So we just wanted to thank you for that and clear the air on a few things, if I can. So I'm trying to, now that we have more subscribers, it's getting more and more difficult to answer everybody in the comments. I try to as best I can. Can't always get to that. And sometimes people aren't clear. And I'm not criticizing you for that. You know, you're typing on a phone sometimes, or you're not really paying attention, or, you know, people aren't as good at typing as they are talking sometimes. And even I, as much typing as I do, and I do a tremendous amount, you know, I sometimes just leave out words as I'm typing. I don't know why that happens. So, you know, if I don't get to you or I say something confused, like "What the hell are you talking about?" You know, don't immediately take it as an attack or anything. I'm just trying to clarify. I'm not looking to start a fight in my own comments. Some of you have posted some interesting links to other videos that are connected to the Dominion servers and Skytle and the voting situation. I've looked at some of them. I tend to skim just because there's a lot to read. But I'm more than willing to listen if people got, you know, a real deal thing. Now, some of you have said, "Oh, why are you criticizing the Gateway Pundit and Newsmax as right wing?" Well, I don't really see it as a criticism. They are right wing. There's nothing wrong with being right wing. They pretty much acknowledge that in their reporting. But what I say is they are right wing in that they have a bias. And you know, it's I have a bias too. And they want Trump to win. I want Trump to win. So we have to be careful not to get too excited that this is a sure thing, because it's not a sure thing. Okay, I give Trump about an 85% chance of pulling this off. You know, there are some things, some elements of this he cannot control. You know, during the first 2 years of his administration, he spent a lot of time vetting people and kicking people in and out, and I think he spent a lot of time learning the process and how Washington works. And I'm sure he made a few mistakes along the way, but ultimately he got to a point where most of his staff is loyal to him and not, you know, the various elements. But even that isn't perfect. There could still be a person or two who are undermining Trump from within that, you know, have just been holding back and holding back and holding back and waiting for this moment. So we don't know. We don't know if that could completely undermine Trump at a key moment. Now, I happen to think that over the years, the CIA has gotten very fat and sloppy on its work, and they don't have people like that anymore. Like, those people have long since left the agency, and you know, they're too dependent upon drone strikes and, you know, informants that they cultivate. And they don't have a lot of spy craft within the agency that's very skilled. And I think the people who would be super skilled probably aren't in Washington, D.C. trying to undermine Trump, but you never know. There could be one. It would only take one really close, high up, or someone who gets compromised. And keep in mind that, you know, if you look at the whole Epstein thing, Epstein was running essentially a giant blackmail scheme. And the scheme went something like He brought people to his island or his plane or his house or whatever, and he'd have a bunch of hot girls there, and some, probably not all, were underage, and then he'd get a famous person or a powerful person having sex with one of these underage girls, and he'd get it all on video, and that was it. That was it. Epstein owned him from that moment on. Owned him. And if you didn't do exactly what Epstein wanted, whew, man, you were going to go possibly to jail for the rest of your life, lose everything. That was a big threat. And, you know, the rumor, although there's no proof of this, that it was the Mossad and the CIA or possibly one or the other were using Epstein in that way, that he provided that service for them. And this is part of the reason nobody could figure out how Epstein actually made his money. So if they're willing to do that, they're pretty much willing to do anything. So you're talking about, you know, anybody in the administration. I mean, there could be people who are willing to pretend to love someone and marry them and have a child with them and then still betray them. You know what I mean? Like, that would be a long con, but it could happen, right? There could be somebody in the Trump agency or Trump administration running around with a 2-year-old kid, and it turns out their spouse has been undermining them 24/7. And now they put the screws to them. If you ever want to see your kid again, you're going to do what I say. I mean, some people are just ruthless. So that's the 15%. It's extreme. I happen to think it's unlikely, but you can't count these people out. They're very ruthless. They're very ruthless. But I think also too, Trump knows that, and he's playing a dangerous game, but he's playing it to win, and he has played it for 4 years very well, just very well. So I look down the road at SCOTUS and the courts, and I see nothing but things falling in line for Trump in his favor. Now, I think he wants to try to win it with the votes without doing SCOTUS, which is why I think he's fighting so hard. And you're going to hear a lot of media reports that are designed to demoralize Trump supporters and undermine his deal. But, don't listen to them. I mean, they're mainstream media. You should not be, at this point, if you're still watching CNN and Fox or any of these TV sources with any kind of, well, this is probably true, you really need to have your head examined. I mean, come on, how many times do they have to lie to you? Turn them off, and understand that they will say and do anything to undermine Trump, including spending months reporting that Biden's the president or whatever. So, where do you get your news? Again, I mean, Gateway Pundit and Newsmax seem to be up and coming, OAN and a few others. And there seems to be a lot of YouTubers that have a handle on things. I watch Sticks and Hammer every day, and Tim Pool, and a few Razor Fist, and so there are all sorts of different perceptions out there, but nobody is 100% right, and you're going to be left with who do I believe here? Everybody's got a slightly different story. Now, like Tim Pool, he's pretty convinced that Biden's going to win eventually. And I don't fault him for that. Or maybe that's a position he's taking to sound more reasonable to his liberal friends. I don't know. I don't think so. I think he genuinely believes that, but he's starting to come around. Tim's always slow to come around. He's evidence-based. He's very evidence-based. Now, Sticks and Hammer seems very confident Trump has got this. Trump has got this for the most part. He's about where I am. Razor Fist, I think, is 100% on Trump. I mean, I think, he's just sitting back laughing. Of course Trump has this. I don't know. I don't think he's made a specific video about the post-election debacle yet. So anyhow, I'll do the best I can. But again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching me and Joan. Hopefully we'll have more videos, fun videos. You know, the only thing I could say, if the worst happened and Biden gets in, I'll be able to do, come on, man, a few more times. But I would gladly give up that impersonation to have Trump for 4 more years. So keep watching this, guys, and I will keep trying to do cool videos.